Friends, and welcome to Life in Envelopes. I am Jennifer Bleecher. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my final side hustle numbers for the month of December, and I'm also changing things up. Until last week, I was using the Budget Mom, I don't have it close to me, but the smaller version of the Budget Mom Budget by Paycheck workbook to track my business expenses. And I was trying to set things up the way I set up my family budget, and they're just too different. A family budget and a business budget are just drastically different, mostly because of tax categories. So what I did is I watched lots of videos, as I do when I want to learn something. I go to YouTube and I watch a bunch of videos, and then I tried some different apps and some free Excel spreadsheets that people had created, and I eventually decided to make my own spreadsheet, which I'm going to be sharing with you in just a second here. I'm also going to share with you all of my numbers straight from the websites. We're going to go to Etsy, YouTube, and Patreon and directly look at the numbers there. But first of all, I want to show you one of the things I've been working on this morning. I made a folder for every month of the year, and in these folders, I'm keeping my receipts. Eventually, this will all go into a big notebook that I turn into my tax accountant with monthly dividers and some more information, but I wanted to share with you my December folder because it's completely done. I finished my December folder this morning. I've got to go back now and do the rest of the months of the year. It's going to take a lot of time, probably several weekends. As you know, I work full-time, so you might not know, but I do work full-time. So everything else I do is on the side, so either in the evenings or weekends. So I thought I'd show you what I have in this December folder. I'm going to kind of try to do some distance so that people can't capture like any kind of personal information, hopefully. So first of all, I have my Etsy monthly statement, and I'm actually going to show you this on the computer in just a minute there. Let me fold part of this down. This is my bank statement for the month of December for my business bank account, and I've highlighted the sections for different categories of tax categories. Each expense I have has to fit into a specific tax category, so that's why tax categories are so important. By the way, I'm not an accountant. This is simply the information I'm going to hand to my accountant when it comes time for him to do my taxes, and then he takes that information and processes my taxes. This also does not include all the deductions that I get for the year. These are just the ones that I track. There are ones that he also takes care of for me, like he calculates the square footage of this office and takes it somehow, tax deducts that from my mortgage, I think. I'm not sure. But he does things like that it's just too complicated for me. Okay, I also have my two credit card statements. I have my Adobe Illustrator receipt. I have receipts from stamps.com. That's where I purchase postage for my Patreon orders. This whole stack here is receipts for Amazon, which is where I get most of my business supplies. And this pile here are all the receipts from Etsy, which is where I get all of my pattern designs from various artists on Etsy. So those are all of the receipts and statements that are in my December folder. Let's go ahead and head over to the computer. Okay, friends, we're going to start with my biggest side hustle income, which is Etsy. As you can see, my sales were at $5,835.62. Unfortunately, that is not what Etsy pays me. First, they take out fees and shipping and marketing expenses. So first of all, for fees, I paid $730.43 in fees to Etsy this month. I paid $10 in marketing fees, and I paid $1,233.18 for shipping. So at the end of the month, I was able to bring home $3,862.01. And that is before I had to take my extra expenses off. The things I pay for, like sticker paper and things like that. We're going to get to those numbers in just a minute. Let's move on to YouTube. So the way YouTube works is they pay you 1 month later. So these are actually all of my numbers for November, and then the check I received in December was $995.04. It is kind of fun to look at all of these statistics, like the number of views I've had, which was 49,940, which is so crazy. I've gained 175 subscribers this month, and there was a total watch time of 9,700. A total watch time of 9,700 hours? Is that right? Wow. That's insane. This was a very good month for me. This was actually my highest month in 2024. Okay, and then finally there's Patreon. I made $890.85 in Patreon this month. And what I do with Patreon is I have a monthly sticker subscription plan. I have a couple of different options. I have a small Budget Mom, Budget by Paycheck workbook sticker pack option, and then I have a full-size Budget Mom, Budget by Paycheck workbook sticker set option as well. So that's where that money comes from. Okay, let's go over to my business expense tracker, which I set up through Google Docs. I'm using an Excel sheet in Google Docs, and this is actually the information that I'll be giving to my accountant come tax time. I have a file folder for the month of December where I'm keeping track of all of my bank statements, credit card statements, receipts for everything, and that will be turned into my accountant along with this information here that I've broken down for him. So first of all, for supplies and materials, I spent a total of $2,029.98. For advertising, I spent a total of $10. For bank charges and interest, I spent a total of $439.71. I did not spend anything on office expenses this month. For software subscriptions, I spent $63.59. And for other, I spent $0. By the way, all of these categories at the bottom here, these are tax categories, and I got the titles from the IRS website. I just went on there and I looked up tax categories for small businesses, and then I picked all the ones that I knew I would be using, and those are the ones I am keeping track. Let's take a look at the grand total. We're actually going to do the numbers together here. So for supplies and materials, I spent $2,029.98. For advertising, I spent $10. For bank charges and interest, I spent $439.71. For office expenses, I didn't have any this month. For software subscriptions, I spent $63.59. For other, I didn't have any this month. Okay, let's take a look at my income. So my total income for YouTube was $995.04. My total for Patreon was $890.85. And my total for Etsy was $5,835.62. Now that was not my net profit, $3,862.01. The reason why I didn't put that here, instead I put my total sales, is because I did calculate those expenses up here with the correct tax categories. So altogether at the end, I had $5,178.23 in profit, net profit for the month of December. 500 of that is going to stay in my account for a cushion, and then the remaining amount, $4,678.23, went to me as income. Part of it I used for my family budget, and the rest I used for house repairs. So if you want to see exactly how much I used for each of those areas, come back for my family budget closeout, which will be happening very soon, either today or tomorrow. I will get that video up. Okay, friends, that is it for my December side hustle check-in. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, will you please give it a thumbs up? And I'll see you again next time. Bye, everyone.
Get those stickers placed. Feel away with life in envelopes. Plan your day. get those stickers placed.